welcome. I feel right at home. And I just want to give you a congratulations for being here, because I know some of you, this was a huge commitment. Financially, you left the kids at home with your husband. Maybe that's a little scary. You've invested in babysitters. You had maybe some obstacles in your journey here, but congratulations. It is so worth the investment. Like I said, when I look back at every point in my business where I made a drastic decision to move up, it was my advance. Seminar was great. Career conference was great. But for some reason, I just love the advances because it was just a smaller setting. It was really intimate. It was a lot of fun. And for me, I just always remembered it. And it's where I have my fondest memories. So congratulations for being here. Well, it's been 10 years for me. July 27th, I joined my business. July 27th, 2001 is when I started Mary Kay. And if you would have asked me if I would be in front of Mary Kay Cosmetics, I would have laughed at you. Now, I did experience Mary Kay when I was little. My mom used Mary Kay, and I painted my dolls and the walls and everything with Mary Kay, but just never thought I would be a part of it. Well, July 27th of 2001, I was invited by a dear friend. She said, I just started this little Mary Kay thing, and, we haven't seen each other for a while, so before we go to dinner, we're going to go to this Mary Kay meeting. And I'm like, oh, Jessica, seriously, what have you gotten yourself into? And I said, fine, I'll go with you. And that was really smart. She didn't tell me why she was bringing me. But I was like, I'll help you. Don't worry, I'll go. So I went there, and all these women dressed in the same color, red jackets. I'm like, do they have a clue? Why are they all matching? Like, really? But they were having so much fun. And the cars, I loved the philosophy. I never knew that Mary Kay stood for those values. And the woman in front of the room, she was making over $10,000 a month. And I thought, if I could just make a half of a half of a half of that, I could get really excited. And she was a poor preacher's wife, and she was no longer poor because of Mary Kay, and I thought, wow, that was impressive. And growing up, I had the finer things in life. And so I knew I wanted to give my children the finer things in life, but how was teaching going to cut it, right? And I was marrying for love, so I didn't know how he was going to do. So I thought, I got to do something. So maybe I'm in this room for a reason. I remember I was 22. I had I really do have curly hair, but I enhance with curling hair, by the way. But I have really, really curly hair. And I looked really, really young. And I remember at the end of the night, she was sharing the marketing. And I said, well, I want to join. And she said, well, honey, how old are you? And I said, I'm 22. Like, I can do this. All right? So anyway, I signed the agreement. I barely had the $100 to join. Came home to tell my family after they had spent $60,000 on my college education. And they were like, oh, this is great. She's peddling lipstick. This is fabulous. And so they supported me, but more in a way like, oh, this is so cute for her. Just buy a few things and she'll be out of it, So anyway, I'm going to be honest with you. I stared at my starter kit for 6 weeks. Did anybody do that? Okay. I started asking in the committee, should I do this? Should I not do this? And then finally I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go to new consultant training. My mom went with me. My mom went with me to new consultant training, and they talked about being a star, and I'm like, I'm going to be a star. And my mom was like, okay, I'm on board. She was supportive, but it was more like, she'll just do this for a little bit. And so anyway, got started, and I remember I booked my debut. I invited 50 people. 18 showed up, booked 9 parties, sold $600, and was in my red jacket. Now, I didn't know what was going on. I'm going to be honest with you. My director did everything. At the end of the night, she says, you're in your red jacket. I said, really? I go, what does that mean? So she told me, and she goes, you could be on target for your car. You only need 2 more. And so fast to me, it's just what my director showed me. That's just the way she spoke to me. So I didn't know any other way, So went on target for my car, okay? And then was quickly actually into DIQ right after that, okay? But to be honest with you, I wasn't in DIQ for the right reason the first time. I was in it because I didn't want to miss out on recruits. Not really the right reason, right? So I fell out of DIQ my first time, so there is hope for any of you that maybe fell out of DIQ. I did earn my car though. Within 3 months from starting my business, I earned my car. And I was teaching full time. I was tutoring after school and planning a wedding for 400 people while starting my business. I only had about 6 to 8 hours a week to work my business. I never missed my meeting, so I had a lot going on. And that was one of the things that attracted me, is that I could sprinkle my Mary Kay life into my crazy hectic life. So anyway, it was at the Advance in Las Vegas. Marilyn Welly is a national maritime today. She was my national. And it was a big commitment to go to Vegas. I mean, I probably spent $1,000. That was a lot of money to a little 22-year-old, but my director said you should go, and so I went. And it was there that I made a decision in the back of the room. I said, I will go into DIQ and I will finish in 1 month. And I went in January with 12 recruits and finished with 32 in 1 month.
Yay. Wow.
And that was all from a lot of skincare. Was it crazy? Absolutely. I had Burger King bags, Wendy's bags in the back of my car. I had parties, faces. My mom said, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to another party. She's like, Dacia, seriously? Why are you working so hard? Like, you don't need to work this hard. This is absurd. I'm like, Mom, you don't understand. Seriously. You don't understand. You'll get it later. So anyway, I just held on to my dream. I remember I had my director's suit hanging on my closet. I had already purchased the shoes that I was going to wear with my director's suit, so you should go do that. Go buy your shoes and place them there. And I remember I had my team on my mirror. And when they signed, I put them in permanent marker. And the ones I was projecting on my team, I had them in pencil. I remember I had it in my bathroom, I had it in my mirror when I was getting ready, and we finished February of 2001, and I still was teaching. And I just remember going to DIT, which is what you go to when you're a brand new director. And I just looked at all those women and I thought, oh my goodness, you know, how am I going to do this? How am I ever going to offspring sales directors? Like, I'll just be happy if I just make my production, you know? Because I was really shy. What you guys don't understand is I really was shy when I first started Mary Kay. A lot of people think I came in and I was like, oh, I'm going to be a national. I really didn't believe that. Yeah, it was a goal, but it wasn't something that I thought I could do. But what I found is that through every small success that I've had in the business, I gained confidence in myself. And so I remember going to my first seminar. I was a director. First seminar. I sat, I'm in Emerald Division, by the way. I sat all the way in the back in the cheap seats, section W. And my husband came with me, and I remember I did go across stage for Queen Support of Sales and Recruiting. I did. But I wanted to be on that stage, and I saw the Queen of Sharing. And a dream was placed in my heart, and I said, I really would love to be the queen. And I looked at my husband, and I said, I'm going to be the queen next year. And he said, oh, really? Because do you see how many people are around you? And I'm like, you don't think I can do it, do you? Like, and so that's where the little inner competitive spirit started coming out. So I was like, okay, so you didn't think I could do this, all right? So I went home and had huge goals, huge aspirations, didn't go as planned in the beginning. And then again, remember the advance came back around a year again. So it was, what, 2003, went to my advance, and then it was there, made another decision. I said, you know what, if it's gonna be, it's gonna be up to me. So I've gotta, you know, get this going. And so anyway, I started the momentum, and then my unit caught on, and we did it together, and we finished $500,000, and I was the queen of sharing. And it was my favorite experience I've ever had in Mary Kay Cosmetics. My family was on stage, my husband was on stage, and I was like, oh, I really like this. This is fun. And my family got spoiled because they got used to it. They were on stage, and we're always in the front. So like, we're gonna be doing this next year, right? So I had to perform to make sure that my family was in the front row. So anyway, then after that I thought, I really want to be $1 million director. Like, a dream was playing in my heart. So that's what we did. And really the difference between $1 million director and director, she's just doing it with more people. And so that next year we were #2 in Emerald. No, they didn't get to come, because I wasn't #1. That's okay, we did $1 million. And by the way, I had left teaching. I forgot to tell you that. Shortly after I became a director, I had left teaching to do Mary Kay full time. And got married a few months after that. I forgot to mention that to you. And yeah, there's a lot in 10 years, you know, that's gone on, right? Our stories are just so long. I'm just trying to pick out the major pieces. Anyway, so then after that year, I thought, you know what? If I do one more $1 million year, I'll be set up for national. Because at that point, you needed 12 first line and 6 second line. And so we did one more $1 million year. And, you know, I tell you that it sounds when I'm saying it like, oh, it's just so easy. You know, she just snapped her fingers and she made it happen. But it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. You know, I did at least 3 to 5 skincare classes a week. I never missed my meeting. You know, as a director, I was doing 3 events a week. I was doing what people my age were not willing to do. Most people my age, between 20 and 26, were going out. They were having fun. They're like, why are you working so hard? Seriously? This is ridiculous. And you guys, I really didn't have to work this hard because my husband actually did very well on mortgages. when he left school, he started mortgages from 2001 to 2008. He was very successful. And so I really didn't have to work as hard. And I think some of you, you might need the money financially and you need to work hard, but some of you don't. But you need to work like it all depends on you regardless. And so that's what I started to do. I started pretending like it didn't matter if he made that. This was just extra cushion for us, and thank God we did that. Because the mortgage industry hit rock bottom in 2008, and because we had saved what we saved in Mary Kay, he was able to leave that to come home for a full year. Now, how many 28-year-olds could say, okay, honey, don't worry, you can retire, okay, living in a $1.5 million home, $20,000 taxes, nanny, 2 assistants, lawn, pool, still traveling, still saving. No stress, no big deal. Because of what? All the hard work that came before that. He was able to come home. Now, I'm not going to lie, he did sleep in a little bit too much. He did golf a little bit too much and fish. I'm like, honey, I need to teach you the 6 most important things to do. So anyway, but he was able to take a full year off, and actually he was able to find his passion, and so he's now farming today with my dad. I know it's crazy. I know I live in Miami, I'm a farmer. I should live in Oklahoma, I know. But I come from a farm family, and that's actually where I learned all my hard work ethic. Because I saw my dad get up at 5 in the morning and work till 10 o'clock at night. So I saw that work hard, play hard mentality. I don't know anything else. And so he would work hard all year, and there'd be 4 months he'd be off because it was seasonal. And he would take us to New York City, and we'd stay in the plaza. And so I was used to that. Room 1426 in the plaza, that was our room. And so I saw that, you know? And so I wanted that for my future family. That's what drove me, the security that my family gave me. And so, you know, money does not buy you happiness, but it does buy you choices and options, right? When I first started my business, I lived at home. And then as newlyweds, we were able to purchase our first townhome. And then at 24, we were able to purchase a $500,000 home. And then at 26, when I became a national, $1.5 million home, right? So it's incredible, you know, what you can have in Mary Kay. It doesn't make me who I am at all, but I definitely do appreciate it. I feel like every day is a Friday in my business. I absolutely love it. And my whole philosophy is work when you can, so that when you can't work, it works for you. For me, my journey was different. I was shared Mary Kay at 22, so no, I didn't have children. I was an exception in that sense. So from 22 to 26, I was building my business. And actually, when I was called up as a national, I found out I was pregnant. And so I basically had my national debut, was pregnant on stage, and had Austin. And he's amazing. You know, so much has come from my starter kit. So much has come from my starter kit. You know, I love having a business where I'm able to be a work-at-home mom. I think every mom wants to be the best wife, you know, the best mom, but they want to have their cake and eat it too. And so for me, it's been fabulous to be able to not work as hard the past few years, but still be paid, you know, nice and executively. You know, pregnant, sitting on the couch, I can seriously sit on the couch and eat bonbons and do very, very well. But it was just incredible, you know, be able to be pregnant, and, you know, if I felt sick, I could rest because of all the hard work that I had done prior. But I love being home with those babies. They're absolutely awesome, and they have such great attitudes. Austin, my first one, and he's super, super sweet. His love language is like touch, and he's just a sweet little boy. He always wants to be hugged, always has a smile on his face, and is so gregarious at school, and he's into art. It didn't come from me. He is such a little artist. He absolutely loves art. And Mason, he's just like my husband. He's super, super sweet. He's like the cool dude. He's like the cool dude. I'm like, you need to go to timeout. No, I'm not going to go to timeout. Like, I'm not going to go there. Like, he is, and it's hard to tell him no. He's so cute. I was showing the pictures. He's just too much. He's like my husband. And I've been trying to teach him colors. It's so funny. He's 3, and he will not get it. And I'm like, I'm so frustrated. And so anyway, my oldest one goes, Mommy, he needs a color tutor. Because my oldest one's like me, he's a planner. Like, if we're going to Disney World, like 2 months out, he's already packing. Now, he's already packing, he's got everything packed. His birthday parties on Sunday, we're doing Star Wars. He has everything ready. He's had a countdown, you know, for when it's happening. And then Addison, you know, she's almost a year, so I don't really know her personality yet, but she's a go-getter, I can tell that. Like, anything she wants, she goes to get. Even now, she's already almost crawling out of her crib. She smiles all the time, but they've just been such a gift to me, and I'm so grateful for them. But so much has come out of my starter kit. Like I said, I've grown as a woman. I was shy. I'm no longer shy. Because I was that person, I was telling directors today that I had these hidden talents, but Mary Kay brought them out. You know, I had a good voice, but I never tried out for the solo. I was a cheerleader, but never was the captain. You know, I never went out to head anything in school because I was like, well, what if I do it and I fail? You know, I was always so scared. And so Mary Kay brought out that God-given potential. You know, and I've been able to influence so many other people's lives. Ari Hathaway, who's my first offspring, I met her at a skincare class. What a concept, on a Friday night. Met her at a skincare class, didn't want to go, but went anyway. And I remember she bought the basic, and she was wearing shorts, a t-shirt, ponytail, no makeup, total girl next door. Would have never expected that she would have become a national. And I remember she bought that. I shared with her the opportunity. She goes, it's okay, I think I'm going to do this. And I was just leaving for seminar. So she had literally joined. I gave her new consultant packet. By the time I got back, she had already sold $1,000 her first week. And I said, you know what? I said, we need to sit down and talk to you about earning your car. And she was driven by earning a car for her mom. So I sat down with her, I showed her the steps, and you know, sure enough, here she's my first offspring national. We're such great friends. We live literally 2 minutes from each other. And we're the complete polar opposites. We're like the yin and the yang, but we complete each other. And where, you know, my thing is more people skills and people, she's more, you know, strategy and numbers and so forth. So it's really, really awesome how we came together. And so I love having her in my life. My mother-in-law is also one of my Cadillac directors. And do not give up on people, because this woman for 5 years I layered. She's like, honey, this is cute for you, but not for me. She was a professor, and it wasn't until my national debut on stage, she said, I want to do this. She was literally, like her hands were crossed the whole time. And then finally at the end, she was like this on the edge of her seats. And it's because she needed to see different cultures, different shapes, different sizes, different age groups. And she's like, I get it. I totally get it. I now see what you've been talking about. So she ended up joining, and today she's a Cadillac sales director, and she left being a full-time professor to do this, and we get along so much better. She didn't really have friends before Mary Kay, and so Mary Kay has softened her, and she just absolutely, she's a trip, she's a trip. I was telling Jeannie, you know, at our advance, we're doing a Disney magical theme, and so I'm Cinderella, next week, by the way, and Ari's Belle. And she calls me and she goes, you know what I'm going to be next week? I said, what are you going to be? She goes, Cruella de Vil. And you know what my team's going to be? Dalmatians. I said, oh my gosh. I go, did you ever think at 60 you'd be planning that you were going to be Cruella de Vil and have Dalmatians calling you? She goes, no, not at all. Like, we're just funny, you know? Like, it's just fun. And she just has such a young spirit. And her only thing was, I wish I would have started a little bit earlier. And so it's just so neat, you know, to have your family a part of this. And last but not least, I wanted to tell you about someone that is just, God has really, really blessed me with. And she is my newest first-time offspring, and her name's Mary. And she's just incredible. And it all has to do with layering. Right when I became a new national, I went back to my school, Westminster Christian School, to do a little career fair for the 8th graders, because I was talking to them, you know, you don't have to be a teacher, a doctor, a nurse. Like, you can own your own direct selling company and work from home and have balance. And so anyway, they all came out to my Cadillac and took a picture, and I gave all the girls little samples, and I wasn't expecting anything from it. Seriously, it was just paying back to my school. And so anyway, this little girl, Mary, comes up to me and she goes, Dacia, when I'm 18, she was 14, when I'm 18, I'm going to call you. I said, okay, I'll be waiting. like I'm really going to take this 14-year-old seriously. So anyway, it was in June, I get a call. I'm in the Burger King parking lot with my kids. And I remember I got a call, and this girl goes, hey, this is Dacia? I'm like, yeah. She goes, this is Mary. Do you remember me? I was the 8th grader, Westminster. I'm like, yeah. She goes, well, I'm 18. I want to join, so where can I meet you? I go, really? I go, okay, well, I'm going to send you an electronic agreement right now, and then, you know, whatever. I said, let me call you back and have some time to talk. Anyway, she joined. I said, well, you know what, honey, this is great. I need a babysitter on Saturday morning. I need a babysitter. This is perfect. I still wasn't taking her for real. So then she would start babysitting for me, and I'd come home, and she'd like watch my skincare class, and she was doing her weekly plan sheet. She was booking. I'm like, you're not watching TV? Like, wow, you know, this girl was planning on her week. Well, anyway, to make a long story short, Mary, within 3 months, with no car, earned her car and became a sales director. Wow. With no car, okay? And she goes to West Palm Beach. She goes to a Christian school there. And Mary is a complete gift from God. She is a complete gift from God. Like, this girl, I've never seen anything like it. She never stops smiling. There is never a smile that leaves her face. And I'm like, Mary, you're so awesome. She's like, no, God is awesome. He's awesome, and he is working through me, and oh my gosh, and like, I'm going to be able to change so many lives, and I'm going to be able to work with missions, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you are such a breath of fresh air. Thank you. And she's just showing our area that, you know what, it doesn't matter. So many of you are making so many excuses, and here's this little girl who has no car, who's 18, you know, who's making it happen. And you would think her team is all little 18 to 22-year-olds. No, they're not. No, they're not. A lot of them are 30s and 40s, and before she went to college, they all came over for a future DIP meeting. And they all showed up, and my husband goes, that's her future team? He's like, dang. I go, yeah, she has 3 directors there. He goes, yeah. So I walk up to Mary, and I go, you already have 3 directors. She goes, I know, I only need 17 more. That's Mary, okay? And I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you, God. And I go, you're going to be the Miss National. And she goes, oh no, but I don't want to take your title. And I said, no, I want you to have my title. She goes, we can share it. I'm like, no, I want you to have it. So she's just blessing our area. You're going to hear from, well, maybe you will, maybe you won't, because I think she's speaking on the last day, but you'll get to meet her. And she's just absolutely incredible. And so I tell you that because here, Mary's doing it. Every time you don't want to get on the phone, or you feel like I can't go approach that woman that you want to talk to, or you feel like, well, why me? I can't be a director. I'm not this. I'm not that. Yes, you can. Because Mary is doing it. Mary is doing it. And so she's just rocking our world. If you go on my website, you can read her story. It will bring you to tears. My website is www.daciaw.com. It's real easy, daciaw.com. Just click on the homepage and you'll see Mary's story. You click on it and she wrote this incredible story that will make you cry. And so I think it's a real inspiration, you know, for yourself and for recruiting young girls and so forth. So anyway, we're just so blessed. And so thank you guys so much for having me. This is so worth all the hard work, you guys. It is worth all the hard work. It is worth all the blood and sweat and tears. You know, you're just going to absolutely love your life. You're going to love Rose Journey. You have a fabulous national. Stacy is a bomb. She's so awesome. I'm learning so much from you and just watching how you speak to your area. She's so loving and caring, and you have fabulous directors. Like, you can't go wrong. There's a lot of people that don't have nationals, and you have a fabulous national, and some of you are go-give, and you've been embraced into her area, so I'm so grateful for that. And if she says jump, you say how high, and that's it. All right, so thank you guys so much for